it seems it's like this faux excitement because there's no fans there.
Well, no, but it's not fake excitement. It's just excitement without fans.
Okay, I
think it's real excitement.
But
the whole thing was really weird.
It's just weird. There's certain things that are fine. Like I said, the ambient crowd noise is okay. I don't know if you saw in the Dodger game, they had a lot of cutouts, including like Barry Hart, and the guy who always has the Jugs gun, who always sits behind him and played. They had about 100 or so cutouts. That looked weird, but it's okay. That stuff doesn't matter. It's amazing. Public address announcing, getting excited when there's nobody there. It's kind of weird. It just really is. It's just weird to me. More than the fake crowd noise.
Yeah. I mean, listen. Everybody has a chance to have their own gripes. I didn't see it as I was just happy baseball was back. I like the commercials. I like the build-up. The Fauci pitch was, what are you going to do? He is 80 years old, as you mentioned. I like the pregame ceremony. I like both teams taking a knee before the national anthem. I like the video on the big screen. Like, I think they did it right. I'm talking about the first game. I'll be honest. I didn't see much of the second game. But I thought, all in all, they did it right. And it's great to have baseball back. And, of course, by the way, we get word, 4 hours before the game that Juan Soto, who's a really good player, test positive for COVID. So we went all of 0 games without having a positive COVID test. However, life goes on, and hopefully everybody gets tested today and everybody's good.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're gonna have to, this is going to be an ongoing thing probably, and then people are going to have to treat it like it's an injury, like you're going to be on like a normal DL injury, right? Sometimes guys get sick, guys get hurt. That's what this is going to be like, as long as it doesn't get spread, to teammates. The other thing that kind of, I don't know why it took me so long to realize this. But watching the game and seeing the empty stands, isn't it hypocritical that, and I did this, I'm not the hypocrite, but where you can put people in I don't know how long an airplane is, 100 feet, whatever, 200 feet. You can put people next to each other or social distance in an airplane. But you can't social distance in a 50,000 seat stadium where you can't have like a few thousand people in there sitting 5 or 6 seats outdoors. So it's okay to fly in a tube across country or wherever. People aren't worried about that, which I'm not worried about it. But the higher ups in all these sports won't let people in an outdoor venue. I don't get that.
Well, what is essential?
Yeah, the traveling is much more essential.
Well,
if you have a parent who is dying in another state, you're going to go see them. Or if you need a medical treatment in another state, you're going to go get it.
Okay, so what do they have to give a doctor's note before you get on a plane?
I'm just saying.
One is essential, the other is not. But Stoney, I'm down with you. I was thinking the same exact thing. Korean baseball is allowing fans back in the stadiums today, I believe, is the first day. I thought the same exact thing. I mean, if you could go to the grocery store, if you can go to the mall, if you can go to NASCAR races, then why can't you go to a baseball game and make sure you social distance? And I think people would. I guess you worry about, the people walking in, right? You could stagger arrival times.
You can figure out a lot of stuff. You can figure out TSA at an airport. You can do all that stuff. And by the way, all the people flying are not essential. Let me tell you that right now.
That's for sure.
Okay, a lot of people are going on vacations and things like that. So that just bothered me. I just think it's hypocritical. But that's all it is.
Stoney, what about this? You mentioned Clayton Kershaw. Did you know he knows Matt Stafford? They grew up together. And they both at one point were the highest paid at their position, and now they both have back injuries. Like, what does it? They both don't win big games. It's amazing how similar these guys are. I didn't want to let that pass.
I know. Well, we have 3.5 hours. We can
starting route to 289 West Montauk
Street. By the way, the Yankees did beat the Nationals 4-1.
Turn
Former
left onto
Tiger
Lone
Max
Pine
Scherzer
Road.
still did strike out 11 guys, but he gave up four runs, including home
In
runs.
2.1 miles, turn
Giancarlo
right onto
Stanton was a
Telegraph
blast.
Road.
But it was interesting because watching, and They didn't. That's the problem. They didn't get eaten out in the
They
first
did the
inning.
next time. They got eaten out the next time.
You know
He
what?
was the right field, which was almost gone, but not.
I know. You know what's sick? No matter what that guy does, I'm watching the game and he hits the home run, and the first thing I think of is, oh, we have to play that drop. That's how you get eaten out.
But Rod's great. I miss him. Love Rod Allen.
I know. So,
No,
go ahead.
I thought both games were good. I thought the same thing about Adam Eaton. Max Scherzer didn't look all that good. However, you mentioned he struck out a lot. But I found it funny that A-Rod, who, by the way, Vasgersian A-Rod, big fan of that duo. I think they do a pretty good job. Oh, Stoney's shrugging. Apparently, you're going to disagree.
I like that scourge. A-Rod is just talk about hypocrites now.
Why?
Because his whole, he took that huge contract and he was like siding with the owners during the dispute. Of course, he wants to buy the Mets. He's so full of crap.
No, I kind of like him. I'm a fan. However, he kept mentioning about Giancarlo Stanton. I really think, Maddie, that Giancarlo Stanton's going to do really well this year without fans. Talking about it like it's some normal thing. Because, he's trimmer and he's gained a lot of power and he's worked out, but now he doesn't have to hear the hecklers over at Yankee Stadium, which I thought was funny because, next year the fans are going to be back, hopefully.
Well,
This year,
yeah.
maybe the fans will be back.
Yeah, but if he has a good year, then people will be cheering him. All right, our telephone number is 248-539-9797. That's the ticket text as well. Coming up on the program, since it is opening day, we'll focus a lot on baseball with the past and the present. Jim Leland will join us at 7:18. Ron Gardenhire, live from Cincinnati at 8:02. Heather has news next.
And I'm going to start my news with a question. I want to know if you're going to do this once the pandemic is over.
Interesting. 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJE 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Henry Ford College. Around the Monroe County area, all lanes are now blocked on I-75 northbound before I-275 due to a new accident. Of course, crews are on the scene trying to clear it up. In the meantime, you can use Telegraph as an alternate. Looking for a career-focused education in 2 years or less? At Henry Ford College, their 1-year and 2-year programs get you ready for big things. They also offer 4-year options like culinary school and dozens of transfer programs. Get ready for your future at Henry Ford College. Visit hfcc.edu. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
This week in Tigers baseball, brought to you by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Baseball is finally here, and Tigers manager Ron Gardenhire likes what he sees.
I was enjoying the Stephen Street training, the way we were driving the baseball. Our pitching staff looked like it was lining up pretty good. We were looking on the bullpen.
Doing what's needed to stay healthy, be a little different, says pitcher Matt Boyd.
It's going to be different dealing with things like, before baseball.
The 2020 baseball season starts now. This week in Tigers baseball, brought to you by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. And it worked. The moves ready to play. It's a whole new ballgame at your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers with the Chevy Traverse. Traverse fits your life and everything that comes with it. With room for up to 8 passengers and best-in-class cargo space, you can bring along everything your family needs. And with available 4G LTE Wi-Fi, Chevy Traverse is like a home away from home. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com.
It's the mid-1980s. The San Fernando Valley, the X-rated capital of the world. And Tracy Lawrence
At the
reigns
stop
supreme.
sign, make sure you
Tracy
turn.
was like, the queen. Only it turns out the biggest star in the dome isn't one.
A young woman widely publicized under the name of Tracy Lords may
In
legally be
2.6 miles, turn right
But what
onto
is the victim
Franklin Road.
here is also the villain. And the villain, also the victim.
Tracy was a smart manipulator.
From C13 Originals and me, Lily Adler, this is Once Upon a Time in the Valley, a real-life thriller featuring Ashley West.
I'll never forget 1985. She said, "May Christy don't ever let them use you."
Listen to Once Upon a Time in the Valley for free now on radio.com, Apple Podcasts, and
get started. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 synthetic high-mileage motor oil and an STP extended life oil filter for just $31.99. And if you need it fast, you can get it fast your way. Whether it's next-day delivery or free same-day pickup, in-store or curbside. The choice is yours. Getting your job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Indeed knows you've got big goals for your business, and we understand hiring is a crucial part of that. You need to hire people who will make a real impact. Indeed can help you find those important hires faster while paying only for what you need without any long-term contracts. Thanks to our super flexible payment options. Start finding your important hire today with a free $75 credit for your first job post and get in front of more quality candidates. Go to Indeed.com/high-impact. That's Indeed.com/high-impact. Terms and conditions apply.
Imagine a coffee cup. It may seem small, but it comes from a small business. One of thousands on eBay, powered by millions of people, all working to get you exactly what you want. That's no small thing. That's everything. Get your thing on eBay.
Tin Roof Detroit is open and ready for opening day. Doors open at 11 a.m. 3 floors of entertainment, beer garden, and rooftop patio overlooking Comerica Park. Tin Roof is following all the social distancing guidelines for a fun and safe environment. Visit tinroofdetroit.com for all the latest updates. Employees be prepared. Help at Team Las Vegas 97 World of Ticket Studio. 248-539-9797. Team Las Vegas and your home to Detroit sports in Vegas. Text the ticket using the same number you used to call the ticket. Ticket text
Beautiful day today. High of 85. Tomorrow, high of 88. Sunday, even hotter, 91. Chance of precipitation for the weekend is negligible. So it's going to be a dry, hot, nice weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, she's ready for the weekend. It's Heather. See you ready for the weekend.
I can't wait.
What are
I
your
don't even
plans?
have any. Oh, I'm gonna meet for the first time. My cousin's had a baby during this whole pandemic, and we haven't been able to meet her. So I'm gonna get to finally meet the little baby. Very excited to do that.
That's awesome.
I know. It's such a weird time to go through something like that because it's so different. You know, the only person you're allowed to have with you now, or at least she did, was her husband. You know, you couldn't have any family or her sisters or her mother visit her in the hospital. So we're finally going to get to meet the baby, which I'm very excited about.
Beautiful. All right, what's going on?
All right, so I'm going to start with a question. So once the whole pandemic ends, will you renew your gym membership? If you go to the gym. I mean, yeah, I know my answer. Right off the bat, I was like, are you kidding me? Of course I'm going to renew my gym membership. I'm so excited to actually get back to the gym. I'm definitely going to renew mine. But if you were to say no, you're not alone because 59% of Americans say they don't plan on renewing their gym memberships once the pandemic is over. And according to the survey, the main reason behind that is that the pandemic really helped people find a more affordable way to exercise and really live a healthier lifestyle. They're able to work out at home, they're walking more, they're doing more things at home than ever before. And then, of course, there's still that level of uncertainty. Are they going to feel comfortable going back?
That might change, though, once the weather, changes in this part of the country.
For sure.
You know, when it's
Once we go
cold.
back to snow and
Yes.
doom and gloom for months on end, of course.
Right, you're not going to want to walk. You're not going to want to walk for 3 miles. When it's 23 degrees out here. You might want to say, you know what? I'll put some money and go to my gym and work out.
Yeah. I've talked about it before. I have been back to my gym during all of this.
Breaking the law.
I know. I'm not going consistently, but believe me, I only went a few times. But the first time I wanted to check it out, felt very comfortable there. There was hardly anyone there. Machines are blocked off. Every machine had their own cleaner. And the second time I went, it was definitely much more packed, and I felt a little uncomfortable, and that kind of deterred me from going again. But I cannot wait to get back to the gym. That is for sure.
Yeah, they'll have more health, safety protocols. I mean, everybody will be feeling better if the pandemic's done. I think people will go back. I think Cinema's great point about the winter.
I do too. I think people will definitely go back. All right, so the team, formerly known as the Washington Redskins, will now go by the Washington Football Team for the 2020 season, which is basically giving the organization time to choose a new full-term name. So this is basically just like a placeholder.
Yeah. You know,
So they're not going to be the Washington Football Team forever.
You know,
They're just
what's so strange about this? I mean, when this was announced yesterday, and they showed the uniforms where they're putting the numbers on the helmet instead of the logo. Yeah, people were Dan Snyder can't come up with anything good. This is so stupid. All this time, this is what they come up with. People just don't understand. This actually makes a lot of sense for one season. And now, will they screw up the nickname? Maybe, but at least it gives them a chance. And who cares? They call the Washington Football Club for one season. Why is that such a big deal?
I don't think it is at all,
I
Stoney.
think it's smart, actually.
Stoney, we had I'm trying to blank the former tight end for the Washington Redskins.
Rick Walker.
Yeah, and he said he had to use the word Redskins for 8 seasons. So people weren't saying Redskins, people weren't writing Redskins. So, damn it, I kind of agree with him. It's not a huge deal, although it's a little weird. You could come up with a name, or with all the backlash about Washington Redskins, that you didn't have a name in the back of your head, maybe.
Well, that's
Well,
true,
remember
too.
though, they had that guy who bought all those names.
Yes.
So like they've got to work with the trademarks. So maybe that's still an issue. I know, right? So smart, so smart. Now speaking of name changes, before the Cleveland Indians make a definitive decision on changing their name, they say they're going to meet with and speak to Native American groups. So the team owner, Paul Dolan, says that he wants to engage the community and Native American leaders to better understand their perspective, which I think is a great idea too.
Exactly. Makes a lot of sense. The Redskins should have done that years ago, and then they would have gotten rid of the name a lot earlier.
Right. So we touched on this a little in the morning, but Dr. Fauci got the MLB season started yesterday when he threw out the first pitch between the Nationals and the Yankees, and he's probably glad there wasn't a ton of fans in the stands to witness it, because it was pretty awful. It was actually very, very awful. He looked great.
Yes.
He was decked out head to toe. His mask looked great. It was a Nationals themed mask. He looked awesome, but the pitch not so much. It went very, very, very wide of the plate. It was a mess.
It wasn't
But,
quite.
you know what?
It wasn't quite as bad as 50 Cent. It might have
No.
rivaled the Baba Booey one. Remember the mayor of Cincinnati a few years ago? Google that one. That is unbelievable. And I was going to give him the pass. You know, he's 80 years old. You know, I understand that. But a friend of mine sent me a video. This is even before the Fauci thing, 'cause I haven't seen this person. We did like a big birthday Zoom last night. So he sent this video of his father from a few years ago who was like 90. He was like 95 at the time. He threw out the first pitch in a Met game. He was a huge Met fan. He was much better than Fauci at age 95.
Right, I can't do it, Stoney. I can't give him a pass. Okay, Fauci's a marathoner. Fauci was a very good college basketball player, correct?
Yeah.
Fauci is an athlete. And he's 80 years old. I understand he's dealing with some things now. I get it. There's this whole global pandemic thing. With that being said, you got to find time to throw a couple. You know this is going on. He did his whole meeting with Ryan Zimmerman. Zimmerman gave him tips. Fauci, baby, you got to go out and just throw a couple. He wasn't on the mound. So, you know, it was a decent distance. It looked like it had plenty of distance, just way left.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, just get some practice in.
Yeah, it was bad. Do you remember the one? I think it was an employee. I
J.K. Simmons? He threw out the first pitch on opening day 1 year, a couple years ago, and he talked to the media. But he talked to the media after he threw out the first pitch, when he was down there practicing in the bowels of Comerica Park. Went out, threw out the first pitch, then came back, talked to the media. But I respected that about him. It was a good pitch, and he cared. Like, he totally did not want it to be embarrassing.
Why? Because you know you're gonna live virally for the rest of your life, like
Exactly.
the ones I mentioned before.
Exactly. So listen to this, you guys. A New York couple has finally returned home after their 5-day vacation to Turks and Caicos turned into a 5-month quarantine. So they took this trip. They left in March. Supposed to be a trip for 5 days. Quick little trip, Turks and Caicos, get some sun, drink some cocktails, relax. And then the local government there decided to close its borders until July to curb the spread of the coronavirus. And they were stuck there until July 22nd. That's when borders reopened and they were able to come back to New York.
So the United States government couldn't pull any strings to get these people out of there?
You know, it didn't go into tons of detail if they really tried, because, you know, if it was me, I would be totally okay with this.
I'm telling you, of all the places I've been to, Turks and Caicos is great. But if you're quarantined, can you go outside and like hang at the beach? Can you like do
They can. They
Okay.
said that basically it was, the whole place was dead because they weren't allowing anyone to travel. They said the beach was basically like a private beach because nobody was there. So, I mean, I get it. It would be a little different, but I would be totally okay with it if that happened to me on my trips.
Like, obviously,
So many questions. I have no idea if they had to. I can't imagine that they had to then pay for their hotel stay
There's a lot of
for 5 months.
trapped in paradise. It's like a bachelor special.
Well, there's a lot of like international students. There was a story about the kid from Michigan, football player, who had to go home to Scotland because he wanted to see his mom or whatever during the early parts, and they closed the border and he couldn't get back. And they finally did something with a lot of these international students to get him back.
Right. So
By the way,
crazy.
Heather, I had even money on the fact that